So my original plan was to be back in the roundabout to do this video, but the weather's not cooperating at all. God damn it. I did go, but it was super squishy, and as much as I love you guys, I'm not going to sit my bum down in cold, squishy, nasty roundabout mud. So here I am in my car. And I wanted to follow up on the last video I did in the roundabout that had to do with being present and the reason for being present, and really tracking your motions throughout the day. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just go back. And I think it's something like why try to be present, and a tip on how to be present. I think that's the label of the video. It's only like 2 down from this one. So yeah, so this is kind of part 2 of that. And so part 1 was, you know, you actually talking yourself through your day to kind of distract your brain from thoughts about the past or the future, which is really where troubles lie. If you were right here, right now, you'd realize that there really is nothing troublesome about the present moment. It is just your reality. It is where you're at. And it's just the stories that we create about what went on before or what's coming in the future that really gives us the angst and the feeling like we really need to control, or the feeling that we're out of control. And the way to really feel like you're more in control, really in control, is the knowledge that you are in control of your own thoughts. Just you. Not what somebody's saying, not what somebody else is doing, not what's going on around you. No matter what's going on around you, no matter what people are saying, no matter what people are doing, you have the control over how you're going to react to, interpret, come to an understanding with. It's totally up to you. It has nothing to do with anybody else or anything in that outside world of yours. So the last video was you tracking your moves so that it kind of kept you in the present moment. So now I'm putting my hands on my steering wheel. Now I am starting the car. Now I'm going to drive to work. Now I am on the highway. Now I'm looking around. And probably if you did do this work for the week, you'd find that there were some days that you forgot to do it, but you'd come back to it, or some moments that you forgot, and then you come back to it. And hopefully when you forgot, you didn't beat yourself up for forgetting, and you were just kind of like, oh shit, I forgot, and came right back to it. Okay, here's part 2. I'm going to ask you to try and train your thoughts to be a little more optimistic and positive. Not super joyous if you're not there yet, you know, or like total euphoria, but at least thoughts that will give you just a tiny bit of relief, a tiny bit of hope, bringing you up on the emotional scale from hopelessness, frustration, anger, you know, fear, like fuck this, you know, life is happening to me and this really sucks shit. And am I asking you to make shit up? Yes, I am. Am I asking you to use your imagination? Yes, I am, because guess what? You are doing that anyway. So any thoughts that you have of the past that are feeling like they're affecting your now, or any thoughts that you have of the future that you feel are affecting your now, are actually you making that shit up, right? It's not actually happening. Your past isn't being recreated, and your future isn't happening, obviously. Like, this is, you know, but when you really think about it, you're just kind of making it up, right? You're making up the story. You're creating what's happening in the now, which is really just what's happening now. And we do that. And we can't help it. But what you can help is the type of thought. So instead of, you know, for example, you know, like let's say you're in what you would consider a dead-end job, right? Or a dead-end relationship. Like you're kind of feeling stuck, and so, you know, from day to day, you're kind of like the story that you're telling yourself is, oh fuck, I'll never get out of this. Oh Jesus, this sucks. My life is so boring. What did I do to deserve this? This isn't fair. You know, sort of recurring thoughts of how shitty your circumstance is. So you're creating that feeling. You're creating that story. what about if your reality won't change? You're still in the same relationship or job, but what if you just had interjected in there some thoughts of, hey, it'd be really cool if, I had this kind of groovy job on the beach in Jamaica. Like I serve drinks to these guys that are, chilling on their holiday, and wouldn't that be a nice feeling? Like, fuck, make shit up. You are anyway. You're making up your story, so why not make it a little more positive? Make it a little, and if you can't go as far as Jamaica on the beach, then at least, tell yourself, you know what, I really can't wait until I have the opportunity to try this, or maybe, maybe in 5 years I might decide to go back to school, or wow, it'd be really cool if, I was on Indeed.com and this job popped up, and then just kind of imagine what that would feel like to bring you kind of out of it a little bit. So am I asking for you to make shit up? Yeah, I really am, because you are anyway. So why not make up stuff that feels a little bit better? It doesn't mean you have to fully believe that it's going to happen. And it doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen, but it certainly will make your present time more enjoyable. And your ultimate purpose in this life is to make yourself feel good. You have every right to feel good. And you are the only one who can do that. You're the only one who can create your own joy. How you interpret this life of yours is the key. And ultimately, you are your life. You're the creator. Life isn't happening to you. You're happening with it. You are it. You are walking with it. So my suggestion is that whenever you start to, so this is your next job, okay, so let's call it for the next week, and then hopefully next week the weather will be good and I'll be sitting in a roundabout telling you next steps. But for now I'm in my car and talking to you. So this next week you're going to, whenever you feel like a kind of a shitty feeling, what's the thought that's creating that feeling? And then kind of shift that thought even just slightly. I can't wait until, or it'll be cool if, and just start using that amazing imagination that you have, that crazy creativity and that creator that you are, that we all are. You can do this. Use it for something positive. And at first it's going to feel weird, and for some reason we feel like we don't deserve this happiness and this joy, but I'm here to tell you, you fucking deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. You are a huge portion of this fucking universe, and you deserve as much joy and contentment and peace of mind as you can possibly get. But nothing but you can create that. And that's kind of cool, because then you feel like, oh, maybe I am in control. And sometimes that's overwhelming, but you got this. You can totally do this. I completely have faith in you. And deep down, there's something in you that says, yeah, I can do this. So you're going to start creating kind of better thoughts, not happy thoughts necessarily. I mean, that'd be great, but better thoughts. Like, oh, you know what? It'll be nice when blah, blah, blah happens. Like start just making shit up. Picture yourself in a different scenario than what's making you feel really kind of yucky. Just picture it. And then your energy kind of builds a little bit. You feel a bit of a lift in your vibe. And it doesn't mean you're going to be, in hysterical awesomeness, from now until eternity. God, no. But it does mean that you're going to feel just a little bit better about where you are right now. And it gives you hope, and it gives you relief. And that's awesome, and you totally deserve it. So I hope that makes sense. Just start using your creativity. You are a creative being, and start using it for good. And try not to paint the same picture if that picture is making you sad or frustrated or scared. Stop painting it and start applying your thoughts to painting a much brighter picture. Even just like a tiny corner, there's a sun in that painting. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay.